7 brands destroying Britain's classic breakfast. Bacon injected with water to increase weight. Beans with more sugar than chocolate spread. And welfare labels that mean nothing. Let me show you what you've been eating. Number 1. Mattessons Smoked Bacon. Around since 1905, building brand recognition through longevity rather than quality. Their bacon comes pre-cooked and packaged in resealable containers, marketed as convenient for quick meals. The convenience comes at a cost you're not aware of. This bacon lists pork, water, salt, stabilizers, E450 and 451, antioxidant E301, and preservative E250. Notice water is the second ingredient. This isn't residual moisture from curing. This is water deliberately injected to increase weight. Those stabilizers prevent that injected water from leaking back out. When you buy Mattessons, you're paying meat prices for chemically retained water. Cook this bacon and watch it shrink dramatically as water evaporates. The preservative E250 is sodium nitrite. It converts to nitrosamines during cooking, especially at high temperatures. Nitrosamines are classified as probable carcinogens. Mattessons pre-cooked bacon has been heated once during manufacturing, then you heat it again. This double heating increases nitrosamine formation. You're getting higher concentrations of these problematic compounds with every supposedly convenient rasher. Number 2. Branston Baked Beans. This tin tries to compete with Heinz by being even sweeter when it should compete on quality. Marketed as the bold alternative, the brand with extra flavor. But the truth is deeply concerning. They've positioned this with phrases like rich and tasty, while the formulation is built on excessive sugar and sauce, so artificially thickened it barely resembles real tomato. Branston doesn't just match sugar content of other brands, it exceeds it. Sugar approaching 5 grams per 100 g's, sometimes higher. Modified maize starch creates that thick, glossy sauce. Flavorings are added because apparently real tomatoes aren't flavorful enough. A recipe designed not for health but to create flavor so intense it hooks you into buying repeatedly. Number 3. Tesco Finest Outdoor Bred Dry. Cure unsmoked, back bacon. Products where people genuinely believe they're making ethical choices. Tesco Finest is positioned as premium. The outdoor bred label suggests better animal welfare. That term is deliberately misleading. It means pigs were born outdoors and spent early weeks outside but were then moved indoors for the majority of their existence. They're not free-range, they're not outdoor reared. Most of their lives are spent in intensive indoor housing after a brief outdoor period that qualifies Tesco to use that welfare washing label. In 2020, footage emerged from an outdoor bred supplier showing overcrowded pens, slatted concrete floors, poor air quality, and sick animals not receiving proper care. The outdoor breeding stage represents a tiny fraction of these animals' lives. You're paying premium prices for marginally better welfare wrapped in marketing that suggests something far more humane. Number 4. Asda Baked Beans. The budget option millions reach for without questioning what they're feeding their children. The tin people throw into trolleys because it's cheap, because it's always there, because surely something so basic couldn't be harmful. That's exactly why it's dangerous. Asda's baked beans have become one of the quietest contributors to excessive sugar consumption in British households. Not because they're obviously terrible, but because they're ordinary. Look at the nutritional information. High sugar, comparable to branded versions. High sodium, pushing you toward daily limits with just one serving. Modified starch to bulk out sauce cheaply. The sugar content should alarm every parent. A product marketed as suitable for children, often eaten at breakfast multiple times weekly, contains enough sugar to qualify as sweet treat rather than savory staple. Number 5. Heck Chicken Bacon. Yes, bacon made from chicken. This represents the absolute nadir of bacon fraud. Heck positions this as chicken bacon for people who don't eat pork, presenting it as healthier alternative while charging premium prices. Let's be clear, it's not bacon. Bacon by definition is cured pork. This is processed chicken breast sliced thin, seasoned with bacon flavorings, and sold as bacon to people who cannot or will not eat pork. The entire concept is built on dishonesty. The ingredients reveal the extent of processing: chicken breast, water, salt, dextrose, natural flavorings, antioxidant sodium ascorbate, and preservative sodium nitrite. Notice natural flavorings doing the heavy lifting of making chicken taste like smoked pork. Sodium nitrite is particularly problematic in chicken bacon. Poultry has different fat composition and protein structure than pork. Applying curing processes designed for pork to chicken creates different chemical reactions, potentially forming different nitrosamine compounds. What makes heck worst is the fundamental dishonesty. They're not selling chicken as distinct product. They're selling chicken disguised as bacon, exploiting consumers' positive associations with bacon for a product that shares nothing but vague flavor similarities. Number 6. Heinz Baked Beans, Britain's most iconic tin. The brand's so dominant, it owns 60% of the UK market, and the reason millions of British children consume dangerous amounts of sugar at breakfast. Walk into any British home and you'll find Heinz beans. It's so ingrained in our culture that questioning it feels almost unpatriotic. That's exactly how they've gotten away with it for decades. Here's what's really in that tin. Per 100 gram serving, 4.7 grams of sugar. That's nearly a full teaspoon in every 100 grams. A standard 415 grams tin contains almost 20 grams of sugar. That's 5 teaspoons. In beans, at breakfast. For context, Nutella has 56.3 g of sugar per 100 GRD. Heinz beans have 4.7 g per 1 to 100 GRD. You're feeding your children something that's proportionally 1/12 as sweet as chocolate spread, and calling it a savory breakfast staple. The ingredients tell the story. Haricot beans, tomatoes, water, sugar, spirit vinegar, modified corn flour, salt, spice extracts, and herb extract. Sugar is the 4th ingredient, not somewhere hidden at the end. 4th, they add sugar because it creates flavor addiction. The more sugar, the more your brain craves it, the more consistently you buy it. That's not nutrition, that's manipulation. Heinz has spent over a century building trust with British families. Nostalgic advertising showing children eating beans on toast. Positioning it as wholesome, reliable, British. All while quietly formulating a product that contributes to the childhood obesity crisis. The worst part? Parents genuinely believe they're giving their children proper food. A hot breakfast, protein and fibre. Traditional British fare. Meanwhile, they're serving them sugar-loaded, ultra-processed beans that spike blood glucose and create cravings for more sugar throughout the day. Number 7. Richmond Thick Sausages. Britain's best-selling sausage, one of the most misleading meat products on shelves. Richmond contains just 42% pork, less than half. The rest? Water, rusk, pork fat, stabilizers. Ingredients: pork, water, wheat flour, pork fat, salt, stabilizers. E450 and E451, preservative E22221. Water second. Wheat flour third. Owned by Kerry Foods, they've perfected cheap sausages with minimal meat. Thick thought is marketing, pumped with water and rusk. A 2019 investigation found Richmond scored lowest for meat quality. The pork is trimmings and mechanically recovered meat. Processed scraps with binders. Parents think they're feeding protein, but Richmond is more bread and water than meat. Preservative E221 can trigger asthma in children. Food so processed it barely qualifies as meat.